Can you explain how you, of all people, got accused of misogynoir?
Well, I would say it the French way, which is misogynoir,
Oh, wow.
but that may not be right. But so it's misogyny as directed toward Black women.
Which is a thing.
Yes, of course. Hatred for, disregard for, denigration of women who are Black. I actually read about it researching for the book. I had not read before I was researching for the book that this had happened to me. I was looking up misogynoir and realized I found my name attached to a few instances of accusations of this. When I was writing about the Semenya case, and then when I was asked to testify in the case, I did a bunch of reading on her supporters, not necessarily people who were directly associated with her, but sort of allies around the world who were either using her case to push their agendas or.
This is a famous 800 meters is her main distance.
Yes.
Runner in the female category who, as is well known, had a disorder of sexual development, which essentially a male-bodied person who, for a variety of complex reasons and through no fault, if that's the right word, fault of her own, ended up in the female categories. She's from Africa and has been unwittingly thrust into the center of this debate about male-bodied participation in female sports categories.
Yeah, she's a multi-time world champion and Olympic gold medalist in the 800 meters, came out first in 2009 for the World Championships and had a decade of dominance on the international circuit in her event. And more importantly, for our purposes, became essentially the symbol of the question, what is a woman, before it was asked.
And a named party in sports litigation.
Right, exactly. Named party in sports litigation, where the question was, is what matters your legal, in her case, your legal identity or your actual sex, right? And she has what's called a 46XY DSD, which means she's a genetic male who was identified at birth as female and carries a female passport that says female, and so was entered into female competitions early on by the Federation in South Africa. She, at one point in that 10-year period, became an adult and owned her continued appearance in the category and continues to fight for her right to be there.
Under difficult circumstances and with great dignity.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, she's an extraordinary person. So one of the claims that was made by her allies, I don't know that she ever made it herself or her legal team or her PR team ever made it, so I don't want to attribute this claim at all to her, was that it was both racist and sexist to see her as anything but female. That if you understood that Black female bodies come in all different sizes, shapes, and colors, etc., you would not be so ignorant, racist, sexist. When I talked about making sure that the female podium at elite level, meaning, world championships, Olympic games, the female podium at elite level featured female-bodied people, I was accused of misogynoir. And the idea was what I was resisting, apparently, or they thought that what I was resisting was Black female bodies on the podium, that I wanted only to see white female bodies on the podium. And, obviously, as I write in the book, they didn't know me, that they don't understand my background. And in any event, that wasn't what I was writing. I was writing that I wanted to see female bodies on the podium, not male bodies on the podium.
You're not going to say it, but I will say it. Based on your book, my understanding is that you're multiracial, you're half Black, and as I understand, you're married to a Black man with a long history in social activism.
Correct. So the 2 points I try to make in response to that claim and this is in chapter 1, are one, they don't know my background, but even if they did know my background, they shouldn't accuse me of it because, in fact, in track and field, most of these people don't know sport. And so they don't realize that almost all of the podium spots are taken by Black women, right? And that when we allow male-bodied athletes whose legal identity is female on the podium, they're displacing mostly Black women. And so if they knew those two things, they probably wouldn't have said that I was engaging in misogynoir.
The best example is the 2016 Olympics, where, if I remember correctly, all 3 podium spots in the 800-meter female category were occupied by Caster, Semenya, at number 1 spot, gold medal. But the other 2 spots were occupied by other women who happened to be Black and who also happened to have the same disorder of sexual development as her.
Correct. All 3 athletes have 46XY DSDs, which in effect means that of the 6 podium spots in the 800 meters in Rio, all 6 were occupied by male-bodied people.